Hi, it's Regie. Welcome back to Moonlight and Moments. Today's episode is called The Fear of Starting. It's the third installment of our October Self Love Year series. Have you ever felt the tug to begin something? A project, a dream, a chapter, only to feel paralyzed by all the reasons not to? Maybe it was a business idea, a healing journey, a new direction you kept putting off because the timing never felt perfect, or because deep down, you weren't sure you deserved to begin at all. This episode is about that kind of fear. The fear that tells us we're not ready, not enough, or already too late. And it's wrapped inside a quiet October story, one that begins, as many of our fears do, with a single door. So take a breath and let's begin. The first time, it was a girl with rain in her shoes. She had just left a job interview. She wasn't sure what she wanted. Hair stuck to her cheeks, mascara clinging on like a stubborn hope. She turned down a narrow lane she didn't recognize. A shortcut, maybe. Or maybe she was just tired of walking the same way home. The alley smelled of wet stone and forgotten autumn. And at the end of it, tucked between two buildings, like it had grown there in secret, was a crooked little shop with fogged windows and a wooden sign that read, "The bookshop that waited." The girl blinked. It didn't look open or closed, just waiting. She stepped inside. The bell above the door let out a soft chime, so distant it sounded like it belonged to another lifetime. The air was thick with dust and old paper, the kind of silence that didn't feel empty but listening. She wandered instinctively to the fiction section, where the shelves weren't labeled by genre or author, but by something stranger. She ran her fingers across the spines. Most of the books had no titles, just symbols, initials, or dates. One in a blue cloth cover had her name. Inside, the pages were blanked, except for a single line written in light pencil. She always said she would, someday. She closed the book. Her chest ached. "Not today," she whispered, placing it back on the shelf. As she turned to leave, the lights flickered gently like a sigh. She didn't look back. The second time, it was a woman with aching feet and a lukewarm coffee in her hand. The world was gray, just past morning, the kind of day that felt unfinished even before it began. She was between meetings, between decisions, between versions of herself she didn't know how to choose. She ducked into a narrow side street, trying to avoid someone she didn't want to speak to, and stumbled across a shop she couldn't remember ever seeing before. The sign above the door was worn, but still legible. "The bookshop that waited." She hesitated. It felt oddly familiar, like a dream she'd had before, or a word always on the tip of her tongue. Inside, the bell chimed. Dust shimmered in the light, suspended like breath held too long. She didn't mean to walk toward the center table, but her feet carried her there. A small flickering lamp illuminated a section labeled, "Cats You Left Behind." She picked up a leather-bound journal titled, "The You Who Said Yes." Inside was a photograph. Her on the stage, eyes alight, behind her a banner. "Debut novel launch." She dropped it. Another book, "What You Could Have Been." Inside the page filled with lines crossed out, a margin note. "You're not too late, but you will be soon." She closed it slowly. "This is ridiculous," she muttered, though no one had spoken. She turned to leave. The lights buzzed once, low and long. Something deep in the shop creaked like a breath being held in disappointment. The third time, it was a woman whose hair had silver in it now. She was on a walk she didn't plan to take, down streets she no longer remembered the names of. The world had gotten quieter, so had she. She came to an alley lined with ivy and fading signs, and paused as if pulled. There at the end of the lane, nestled in shadow and morning mist, was a bookshop. The bookshop that waited. It felt strange, like something almost remembered. She entered. The bell gave no sound. The store was empty, but not abandoned. The air felt thick with presence, not of people, but of time. She wandered toward the back, past shelves marked, people you never let love you, choices you avoided until they made themselves. One shelf held a single mirror uncovered. She stood before it. The woman who stared back was not the version she expected. She was younger, then older, then in between. The mirror shifted, as if remembering. She stepped away, heart pounding. At the very back of the store, she found a small wooden pedestal. Upon it, one book, plain, weathered, titled, Begin. She opened it. Inside, only a single page. You've been here before. You always left, but you never forgot. You still can. Her breath caught. She looked around, really looked. The same lamp, the same cracked tile near the door, the same warmth in the floorboards like footsteps echoing from the past. Memories rising like ghosts. Rain in her shoes, a manuscript with her name, a photograph she couldn't explain. That sick ache of not choosing, the whisper in the air. She had not been three women. She had been one, returning again and again to the same threshold, wearing different names for the same fear. She turned slowly, there behind the counter, a door she'd never noticed before. The sign hanging from it read, "Start here." She reached for the handle. This time, the shop did not flicker or sigh. This time it waited. And she stepped forward. The bookshop was never haunted by ghosts. It was haunted by almosts. By the people we could have been if we had just let ourselves begin. This story at its heart is not about a place. It's about pause. The long uncertain breath we take before beginning. And what happens when that breath becomes a year, a decade, a life. Fear of starting is one of the quietest fears we carry. It wears so many disguises. Perfectionism, I'm not ready, I'm too old, what if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? What if I succeed and can't hold it? It slips into our minds like a draft beneath the door, until we begin to mistake comfort for safety and hesitation for wisdom. In the story, we follow what seemed to be three strangers, each lost in their own moment of decision. A young woman afraid of beginning something new, a tired woman convinced she was too late, and an older woman hunted by regret. But they were never separate. They were all the same person. That's what fear does when left unchecked. It fragments us. It divides the now from the maybe. It makes us live in waiting rooms of our own making, surrounded by dusty shelves of possibility. The bookshop is a metaphor, of course, but how many of us have our own version of it? A journal unopened, a course we never finished, a letter we never sent, a side project we told ourselves wasn't real, a canvas under the bed, a website half built, a version of ourselves that still whispers from the back of the mind. We tell ourselves we need more time, but time, when it isn't filled, becomes a loop, and eventually we start mistaking the loop for a life. What this story shows, and what so many of us feel in quieter moments, is that beginnings don't wait for permission. They only wait for presence. And fear, while it may always walk beside us, does not have to lead. There's something powerful in realizing that the version of you who could have started at 23, 34, or 67, they are not gone. They are waiting, still inside you, still hopeful, still willing. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are not broken because you waited. You are simply on the edge of a beginning. The beginnings don't care about age or timing or accolades. They only care about truth and the courage to show up. The bookshop in the end is not a place of punishment. It is a place of remembering, a mirror, a threshold, a soft voice asking again and again, what if you started now? Because the hunting stops the moment you choose to begin. Most people don't walk into haunted bookshops, but many of us live in the quiet hunting of almost. The fear of starting doesn't always come with drama. It often arrives as stillness, a paused cursor on a blank page, a tab left open for months, a half-written email, a course bookmarked and never begun, a dream talked about more than lived. It's easy to miss because it disguises itself so well. It says, "You're not ready. It's not the right time. You'll be more confident next year. You'll need one more qualification." What if they think it's silly? What if you try and it's not enough? And so we stay where it's safe. We choose later. We choose maybe someday. But the pain of not starting can grow heavier than the fear itself. You might recognize it in your own life, not in big failures, but in subtle aches. You feel creativity blocked but can't explain why. You watch others do what you've dreamed of and it hurts in a quiet, almost shameful way. You replay your age like a countdown clock, wondering if you missed your moment. You keep returning to the same ideas in your journal, over and over, like a record skipping. You feel restless even when things are fine. You find yourself maybe next year a little too easily. Sometimes we don't start not because we're afraid of failing, but because we're afraid of being seen. Starting something, a business, a creative project, a healing journey, is vulnerable. It requires us to believe something that doesn't exist yet. It asks us to trust the version of ourselves we've never met, the one who finishes, the one who keeps going, and the one who rises. And many of us don't know how to trust her yet. So we wait, and we wait, and we wait. But time doesn't always bring clarity. Sometimes it only brings distance. The truth is, the pain of not beginning doesn't disappear. It just settles into the background, shaping our self-perception in quiet, corrosive ways. We start to believe, maybe I'm not meant for more. Maybe I missed my window. Maybe someone else will do it better. Maybe if it mattered, I would have done it by now. But none of that is true. Not really. What's true is this. Starting is scary and sacred. It asks us to step into a space where the outcome isn't guaranteed, where validation might not come, where we might not be good yet. But every master was once a beginner. Every success story started as a trembling hand reaching for the doorknob. You don't need to finish today. You just need to start. You don't need to be confident. You just need to be willing. And you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to say yes to the whisper inside you that's been waiting. That whisper might sound like, I wonder what would happen if I tried. I've always wanted to. Maybe now is the time. I'm scared, but I can't stop thinking about it. It's okay if you've ignored it before. It's okay if you walk past the door again and again. But it's still there, and it's still yours. Starting is not a grand gesture. Sometimes it's an email, a sketch, a note in your phone, a decision to research, to call, to ask. Sometimes it's opening a dusty notebook and writing, I don't know where to begin, but I'm here. That's where it lives, not in perfection, but in presence. And if you're listening to this, there's a good chance your version of the bookshop is still waiting. Quietly, hopefully, patiently, waiting for you to turn the doorknob and step in. If the story touched something tender in you, if you've been circling an idea, a change, a new beginning, I want to offer a gentle truth. You don't have to be fearless to begin. You just have to be present. You don't need clarity. You need courage, one small breath at a time. Fear of starting isn't something we cure, it's something we move with, slowly, kindly, in the direction of what matters most. So if you're standing at the edge of something new, something uncertain, something meaningful, here are a few soft places to begin. 1. Name the thing you haven't started. Before anything else, give it form. Is it a dream you've had for years? A letter you've never written? A career shift? A boundary you've never set? A version of yourself you've only imagined? Say it out loud or write it down, even if you don't know how it ends. Naming it is a kind of magic. It tells your fear, I see you, but I'm moving anyway. Try writing this. The thing I want to begin, even though I'm afraid, is, or if I weren't scared, I would start. 2. Lower the bar to the first step. When we're afraid, we often raise the bar so high we can't even reach the first rung. Start with something small, something embarrassingly doable. Not writing a book, just writing one sentence. Not launching a business, just buying the domain. Not transforming your whole life, just choosing one new habit for this week. Ask yourself, what is the tiniest, gentlest step I could take today that would move me closer to beginning? And then, celebrate it. Treat it like a miracle, because it is. 3. Expect resistance and make room for it. Fear will whisper, that's its job. You're not ready. You're not qualified. This doesn't matter. You'll never finish. Instead of fighting those thoughts, try greeting them. I hear you, and I'm going to begin anyway. You're trying to protect me, but I'm safe to take this step. Yes, I'm scared, but I don't have to obey the fear. Your job isn't to be fearless, it's to be faithful to your longing, to your growth, to your becoming. 4. Choose a ritual to anchor the beginning. New beginnings are sacred. Give yours a rhythm, a shape, a container. Maybe you light a candle each time you sit down to write. Maybe you put on a certain playlist when you're working on your dream. Maybe you mark your calendar with a soft first step reminder, weekly, daily, or just once. Let your beginning be something you return to, not something you have to fight to remember. 5. Tell someone who sees you. Fear thrives in isolation. So choose someone, a friend, a mentor, a therapist, a journal, or even your future self, and share it. I'm scared to start, but I'm going to try. I've been holding this dream quietly, and I think I'm ready to take the first step. You don't need applause. You need witnessing. You need to know someone sees you crossing the threshold. And if no one comes to mind, let this moment be your witness. Let this space right here, right now, be the place where you were seen beginning. 6. Remember, it's not too late. Maybe the fear isn't failure. Maybe it's that you waited too long. Maybe you've convinced yourself that the ship has sailed. But ships can turn back. New ships appear. Some journeys don't begin until you've lived enough to understand the story you're here to tell. You haven't missed your chance, because this moment, this very breath, is the only moment you've ever needed to begin. You don't need to do it all at once. You don't need a 10-year plan. You just need to choose today as your someday. You just need to take one gentle, meaningful step. So, what's your version of the bookshop? What door is waiting for you to reach out, even with shaking hands? And what would happen if this time you step through. Let's take a moment now just to be still. Let the story settle. Let your breath find you again. There's nothing to solve in this moment, nothing to fix, only a soft space to land. Wherever you are right now, walking, working, lying down, maybe curled beneath a blanket, I invite you to pause, even if to take a breath or two. Close your eyes if it feels safe, or soften your gaze. Let the world fade to a blur, like pages turning in the dark. Now take a slow, steady inhale. Feel it rise through your chest, your ribs, your shoulders. Hold it just for a moment. And then release through the mouth or nose, whatever feels most natural. Again, inhale, gently and deeply. And as you exhale, imagine letting go of all the belief that you need to have it all figured out. Again, inhale, and this time, breathe in permission. Exhale, and let go of timelines, of pressure, of shame. Let your body unclench. Shoulders, jaw, hands. There's no race. There's no clock. There's only now. Now in your mind's eye, picture a door. It's small, wooden, worn by time, but somehow hopeful. On the door, carved in soft golden script, are the words, "Start here." It doesn't matter what's behind it yet. It doesn't matter what's on the other side. What matters is that the door exists, and that you're allowed to walk through it. Maybe you've seen it before. Maybe you've walked past it many times. Maybe today is the first time you notice it at all. But it has always been yours. You do not need to rush toward it. You don't even need to open it today. But let yourself acknowledge it's there. Let that be enough for now. Let's sit with the truth softly. You are not too late. You have not missed your moment. You have everything you need to begin, even if your hands still shake. Breathe that in. Let it fill you. Let it soften the edges of your fear. Now one more breath, this one infused with possibility. Inhale, I am allowed to begin. Exhale, even here, even now. Feel your body return to itself. The rhythm of your breath, the warmth of your skin, the beating of your heart steady and present. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes or lift your gaze. Carry this stillness with you like a match held close, like a key in your pocket. And remember, the door will be there tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. But maybe, just maybe, today is the day you reach for the handle. What if the beginning you've been waiting for has been waiting for you too? Patiently, quietly, like a bookshop tucked into a forgotten alley. You don't need to rush. You don't need to be fearless. But if you're holding a dream, a healing, a version of yourself you've kept on pause, maybe today is the day you say, I'm ready to start. Even if your voice shakes, even if you don't know what comes next, even if the only step you can take is the first one. Because starting isn't about being certain, it's about being willing. So if you've been looking for a sign, let this be the one you don't walk past. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Follow Moonlight and Moments wherever you listen, and share it with someone who might need a little light today. Until next time, and as always, love yourself better than yesterday.
There's a door down an alley I swore I forgot, with a sign in time never caught. Dust in the silence, names on the spine, books full of stories that used to be mine. I walked past it once, I walked past it again. Told myself maybe, then told myself when. The pages don't turn if they're never begun, and fear only wins when the starting is shunned. Start here, even if your hands still shake, even if your voice might break, even if the map's unclear, you're not too late. Just start here. The mirror won't lie, though you cover